Okay, so here are the study guide answers. Hopefully you've already done the study guide. I'm trusting that you all already did the study guide, so I'm just going to work through the problems so you can check your work. All right, so for these first four equations, we are solving for the given variable. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw my wall of equality. I have like terms here. I've got the 8x and the minus 2x, so that gives me 6x plus 15 equals negative 45. Now I have one of my favorite two-steppers, so I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides. I get 6x equals negative 60. Divide by 6, x equals negative 10 should be your answer for number 1. Number 2, again I have my wall of equality. I've got like terms here, the 2x and the negative 6x, so when I combine those I get negative 4x minus 2 equals, and I have a 9 and a negative 11, so when I combine those I get negative 2 minus 4x. Now I've got variables on both sides, so I'm going to add 4x to the right and add 4x to the left. These are gone. I've got negative 2 equals negative 2. So that's kind of strange because it's the same thing on both sides. There's no variables left. So what this means is any value would work for x. So the way we say that is infinitely many solutions. So that would be my final answer. That tells me that anything works for x. So 1 would work, 2 would work, 3 would work, 4 million would work, anything. Okay. All right, let's look down here at number 3. And remember, you guys can pause as needed, especially if you have not completed this, you know who you are, and you're just now copying it down. You can, of course, pause the video to catch up and what have you. Okay. Question number 3, I'm going to draw my wall of equality. I've got like terms. I've got negative 12x and plus 4x. So that's going to give me negative 8x minus 3 on the right. And I've got negative 8x minus 10 on the left. So I'm going to move my variables. I'm going to add 8x to both sides. Okay, so that leaves me with no x's. This time I have negative 10 equals negative 3. We all know that negative 10 in fact does not equal negative 3. So that means that no values will work. Meaning there's no one number that would, if I put it here and then I also put it here for these x's, these two sides would not be equivalent. So our answer is no solution. Okay, let's move on over here to number 4. You guys, fractions. We did this together in one of my classes yesterday. I don't remember which one. So, because I forget what the situation was. I think it was just a lot of whining about fractions, if I recall. So let's go ahead and work this one out. If you're in that class, you already have it done, so you don't have to do this, obviously. Common denominator is going to be 8 because 4, 8, and 8 can all go into 8 evenly. Remember, these parentheses sections are off limits. Those are protected. So I'm going to multiply the 1/4 by 8, the 1/8 by 8, and the 7/8 by 8. So here we go. 1/4 times 8 over 1 times the quantity x plus 5, because remember I can't touch that, equals 1/8 times 8 over 1 times the quantity x minus 16, because again that's off limits, plus 7/8 times 8 over 1 x. So now I'm going to do some cross-simplifying and get rid of these fractions by clearing them. So 4 can go into 4 and 8. 4 goes into 4 one time. 4 goes into 8 two times. 1 times 2 is 2 over 1 gives me 2 times the quantity x plus 5 equals, and then these 8's can both cancel out. So 1 over 1 is 1 times the quantity x minus 16 plus these 8's cancel, right? Cross simplifying. 7 times 1 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. 7 over 1 is 7x. So now I have no more fractions. I've got some distributive property to take care of. So I'm going to distribute. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times x is x. 1 times negative 16 is negative 16. Plus 7x. I've got some like terms here. I've got x and plus 7x, so that gives me 8x minus 16 equals 2x plus 10. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. So now I've got 10 equals 6x minus 16. Now I've got a two-stepper. I'm going to add 16 to both sides. And I've got 26 equals 6x. Divide by 6. When I simplify, I get 13 over 2 equals x. And that is my final answer. So I'll leave this here for a second. If you need to pause your screen to take a look, catch up, whatever you need to do at this moment, go ahead and pause it so you can make sure you have all the right work there and you followed along. Or maybe you're fixing your work because you did do it before you're watching this video. All right, let's move on to the second page. We're going to solve these inequalities. So again, very similar to equations, we just have to pay attention to our symbols. So we're going to solve and graph. Still going to draw my wall of equality. I'm going to distribute this 2, so I've got 10x plus 2 minus 15 is greater than 3x minus 27. I've got some like terms here. So I'm going to have 10x minus 13, because positive 2 minus 15 is negative 13, is greater than 3x minus 27. I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. So I have 7x minus 13 is greater than negative 27. I'm going to add 13 to both sides. 7x is greater than negative 14. Divide by 7. I get x is greater than negative 2. I did not have to flip my sign because I did not divide by that negative. It was already negative. So then I go down here to my graph. It's already with the variable on the left, which you guys know I prefer. So I've got my 0, my negative 2, and my 2. I'm going to have an open circle at 2, and x is greater than that. So it's going to be going in the direction to the right, all the values that are actually greater than negative 2. So now let's tackle number 6. I'm going to draw my wall of equality. Got a lot happening over here on this left side. So let me distribute. I've got negative 6x minus 4 plus x is less than or equal to 5. So I'm going to combine the negative 6x and the positive x. So I'm going to get negative 5x minus 4 is less than or equal to 5. Got my two-stepper here. Add 4. I've got negative 5x is less than or equal to 9. I'm going to divide by negative 5. This is where I have to flip my symbol. X is greater than or equal to negative 9 over 5. You guys know how I like to put the negative with the numerator. It just looks better, keeps things more organized. So now I'm going to graph this, and remember all I need is that number, 0, and its opposite. So I've got negative 9 over 5, positive 9 over 5. I'm going to have a closed circle because it can be negative 9 over 5, right? That or equals to. And again, it's greater, so I'm going to do everything to the right. Okay. So those are our inequalities. Let me zoom this out for those of you that maybe need to see the whole thing at once. Okay. All right, let's move on to our last two. We're looking for mistakes here. So we're just going to walk through and try to find where the mistake is. So let's look here at this person's work. They distributed the 4 to the 3 and the 7. They got 12x minus 28. That's correct. Minus 4x equals negative 5. So far, so good. So then I'm going to say, okay, 12x minus 4x would give me 8. Well, here's the mistake. Step 2, this should be 8x, right? Because 12 minus 4 is 8. So circle the error in the problem above. We circled the error. Explain the student's error. Well, the student combined 12x and negative 4x incorrectly. Right? That's exactly what they did. Let me zoom this in. Okay, so then it says solve the equation correctly. All right, so I'm going to distribute. I'm going to draw my wall of equality. I'm going to get 12x minus 28. Oops, let me get myself some more room there. 12x minus 28 minus 4x equals negative 5. We know that this should be 8x because that was the mistake. Minus 28 equals negative 5. I'm going to add 28 to both sides. So I'm going to get 8x equals 23. Divide by 8. X equals 23 over 8. It's not pretty. That's okay. But it is our answer. Right? And yes, these are 8s. I know some of you are thinking, Mrs. Marsh, really? But I know you know that's an 8. Okay. Last problem. You guys are doing great. You're going to be ready for this quiz on Monday or Tuesday, depending which house you're in. Okay, so we've got an inequality, and we're going to find the mistake. So let's look and see what they did here. It looks like they multiplied both sides by 3. So they got negative 7 times the quantity x minus 5 is greater than negative 27. So that's correct. And then we're going to distribute here. So negative 7 times x is negative 7x. Negative 7 times negative 5 should be positive 35. Oops. So there's our mistake. So I circle the error, explain the student's error. Negative 7 times negative 5 should be positive 35. Okay, so this right here should be a plus sign. So now we're going to solve it. Okay, so we're going to multiply times 3 just like the person did. So we have negative 7 times the quantity x minus 5 is greater than negative 27. Then when we distribute this negative 7, that's when we get negative 7x plus 35 is greater than negative 27. Got my two-stepper here. I'm going to subtract 35 from both sides. Same signs add and keep, right? So I get negative 62. So I've got negative 7x is greater than negative 62. And then I'm going to divide by negative 7. Because I divided by a negative, I have to flip my sign. X is less than. And I get 62 over 7 because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. And that's going to be my answer. Again, not pretty. They rarely are, but that's the answer. So there you go, guys. That is your study guide for your quiz the next time I see you. And, of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Again, if I don't email you back within a reasonable time, I did not get your email. Okay, I'm not ignoring you. I would never do that. So if you think you are not hearing back from me, it's because I never got it. The best way to get in touch with me that students have had success is either click on my email address link from the Canvas page, the front page, or go through Canvas Messenger and send me a message that way. Okay? All right. See you guys either on Monday or Tuesday. Thank you.